You walk into your bathroom right now, flip a switch, and push a silver lever without even thinking. A clean vortex of water instantly carries everything away, making your own biology someone else's problem. But for over 99% of human history, that simple lever did not exist. Before modern plumbing, your ancestors had to survive in a world where leaving your waste in the wrong spot meant inviting deadly invisible killers right into your camp. Squatting in the tall grass made you completely blind, slow, and totally defenseless against predators hiding in the dark. So how did they actually manage to survive this daily biological danger? The dark reality behind this struggle will change everything you think you know about human evolution, our modern health, and what it really means to be human. This constant fight for survival forced our ancestors to make a choice that opened the door to an even greater mystery. To understand how this battle shaped us, look at the clues left behind in our own minds. 2 million years ago on the open plains of Africa, early humans had to play a daily game of survival. When you had to relieve yourself, you had to leave the safety of the fire. You walked out into the tall grass and squatted down. In that exact moment, you became the most vulnerable thing in the environment. Your eyes were locked on the ground. Your movement was limited. You were completely blind to a leopard creeping through the brush or a pack of hyenas waiting for an easy meal. Evolution fixed this danger by planting something deep inside your brain. It gave you the feeling of disgust. This sudden, deep revulsion was not just a random mood. It was an ancient survival program. It was designed to keep you far away from the massive, invisible threats hiding inside human waste. A single gram of feces carries 10 million viruses and 1 million bacteria. Leaving it near the group was a quick way to destroy everyone you loved. For a long time, the system worked because humans kept moving. The sun baked the ground, the earth cleaned itself, and the tribe stayed safe. But then everything changed when we stopped walking. Around 10,000 years ago, during the farming revolution, humans made a massive gamble. We gave up the moving life to build permanent homes. Archaeologists digging in modern-day Turkey at a site called Catalhoyuk found a dark reality. People built mud brick houses right next to each other. They did not have streets, so they used their roofs to walk around. And right down in the narrow alleys between those houses, they dumped everything. The air would have been thick with a heavy smell of decay. When scientists examined ancient fossilized human waste, called coprolites, from these sites, they found a complete disaster. The moment humans settled down, parasite infections grew out of control. The soil became packed with the eggs of hookworms, tapeworms, and whipworms. People grew weak because they were constantly breathing and drinking in their own waste. Data shows that the human lifespan actually dropped when we started farming. We thought we were building safety, but we just traded big lions for tiny invisible monsters in our own front yards. As populations grew, this problem threatened to destroy early cities completely. Around 5,000 years ago, the ancient city of Mohenjo-Daro in the Indus Valley tried to fix this. Engineers there built houses with actual brick toilet rooms. They designed clay pipes that ran through the walls, dropping waste into brick-lined drains beneath the streets. They realized that if you can no longer walk away from the danger, you have to find a way to make the danger walk away from you. Later, the Roman Empire took this idea and turned it into a massive engineering wonder. They built giant public latrines with long, beautiful marble benches. But if you walked into one of these rooms, your modern ideas of privacy would totally shatter. You sat shoulder to shoulder with 30 strangers catching up on the news while doing your business. They did not have toilet paper, so they used a tool called a xylospongium. This was just a natural sea sponge tied to the end of a wooden stick. When you finished, you wiped yourself, rinsed the sponge in a small stream of running water by your feet, and tossed it back into a bucket of vinegar for the next person to use. This shared sponge became a massive highway for disease. Modern scientists testing the dirt beneath these ancient Roman toilets found that despite all their beautiful running water, the Romans were completely filled with dangerous parasites. It was actually safer to squat out in the woods than to use a fancy Roman bathhouse. Even worse, the large tunnels beneath the city did not have modern valves to block air. The waste, rotting in the dark, produced huge clouds of flammable methane gas. A tiny spark from a torch could cause the marble benches to literally explode, shooting fire straight up into the room. Rats grew massive in the darkness, crawling up the holes to bite people from below. The danger was so real that the Romans carved images of gods on the walls to protect them from the demons they believed lived in the dark plumbing. When Rome fell, Europe forgot all of these hard lessons and entered a much darker era. In medieval castles, lords used a tiny room called a garderobe that hung out over the high stone walls. You sat on a cold piece of wood and everything dropped straight down into the castle moat. That water was not just a defensive barrier against enemy soldiers. It was a thick green ring of raw sewage that created a wall of terrible smell around the entire building. Down in the crowded medieval cities, things were even worse. People used a simple clay bowl called a chamber pot under their beds. Every morning they walked to the window, yelled a quick warning down to the street, and threw the contents right out into the open air. The pathways turned into thick rivers of mud-rotting food and waste. The smell was so powerful that people could actually taste it in the air. To walk through the city, rich citizens had to wear tall wooden platform shoes just to keep their long clothes out of the slime. Cities dug massive underground holes called cesspits to catch the waste, but these holes filled up fast. To clean them, cities hired teams of men called night soil men, who only worked in the dead of night. They climbed down into the dark chambers, shoveling out tons of raw human sludge by hand to sell to local farmers outside the walls. Many of these workers suffocated instantly from the toxic gases trapped in the mud. Because all this waste sat in the ground for months, it leaked straight into the shallow wells everyone used for drinking water. For generations, entire families lived in a state of constant slow poisoning without ever knowing why. This deep ignorance led to a massive breakdown in the 19th century. In London, the population grew too fast for the old system to handle. Everything washed directly into the Thames River, turning the main water source into an open sewer. During the hot summer of 1858, the water began to cook under the sun. The smell became so intense that it shut down the British government in an event history calls the Great Stink. Politicians could not even sit in Parliament without gagging, forcing them to soak their heavy curtains in chemicals just to breathe. It took the painful deaths of tens of thousands of regular citizens from cholera before leaders finally faced the hard truth. Humanity had spent thousands of years running away from its own biology, and we were finally running out of places to hide. So what does all of this tell us about the world we built? When we look at history, we usually celebrate our biggest achievements. We point to the giant skyscrapers, the long bridges, and the glowing screens in our pockets. We think these things show how far we have come, but that is the wrong way to look at it. The real story of our world is not about reaching for the stars. It is about running away from what is inside us. The true miracle of modern times is the giant hidden world beneath our feet. We spent billions of dollars and hundreds of years building a massive maze of pipes and concrete under our streets. We did not build this hidden kingdom because we wanted to be great. We built it out of pure, deep terror. Think about that for a second. Our whole society is held together by a system designed to make us forget we are even animals. We created amazing cleaning plants, curved pipes that trap poison gas, and smooth porcelain bowls that clean up after us with one little push. We like to think we are masters of nature, but the truth is much simpler. We are just terrified of our own biology. The ultimate twist of human history is that our greatest architectural triumph is completely invisible. We did not build modern empires out of pure ambition or glory. We built them out of a desperate need to hide from ourselves. Every clean street, every bright office building, and every comfortable home only exists because a dark, heavy ocean of waste is constantly moving away from us in the dark. We conquered the entire planet not to prove our strength, but just to buy ourselves the right to walk away from our own bodies. Every single day, we carry so much heavy weight on our shoulders. We constantly worry about our jobs, our messy relationships, and the endless pressure to look perfect in a fast world. It is so easy to feel completely burned out, deeply anxious, or totally lost in the middle of it all. But when everything feels like too much, try to remember the hidden miracle right in front of you. You push that little silver lever and just walk away. In that one quiet moment, you are enjoying a safety that billions of humans before you could only dream of having. You are the special survivor of a long invisible war that lasted for millions of years. Your ancient ancestors fought through constant fear, terrible diseases, and painful mistakes just so you could live your life in peace and comfort today. We are all part of this beautiful, ongoing human story. If this deep look into our past changed how you see your daily routine, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your small support helps us share more meaningful stories that bring us closer together. Let us keep looking deeper into who we are together. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you next time.